Round 3, guys. Round 3. We'll get to the end of this playlist. We'll get to the end of the playlist eventually. Right, okay. Where was we? We was coming up to the end of Disposable Heroes. They just sang I Was Made for Dying, and then it just went crazy. So let's bring this back up. Let's get screen capture on. Let's hope we don't get done again. And let's go. Very, very good song, that.
You're not fucking tired, are you?
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I love that song. I think that song is fantastic. And you know, it puts you right there on the battlefield almost. Well, for me it does anyway. You know, that guitar riff of the it just reminds me of like war bugles almost. I think it's great. It was interesting actually. I was on Spotify the other day and looked at my most played artists over the last 6 months, and number 1 was Metallica, number 2 was Nightwish, number 3 was Iron Maiden, and I just thought how times have changed over the last couple of months. Ridiculous how times have changed, like crazy. I never thought that Metallica would be my top played artist this time 6 months ago. Let's catch up with the comments really quickly. Added benefit into the Patreon and streams on Discord. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. If we did it in Discord, that would certainly get around the copyright issues and would be an added benefit of going in. Yeah. How about Wake Up Dead? Black Friday is really good too, though. Yeah, so I've got a set list of videos that I'm going to listen to tonight, so I'm just going to plough through them. But anything that comes through on the comments, I will stick in the suggestions list for future weeks. Right, let's see what we've got next. Next up, we have got Cliff Burton's bass solo, Anesthesia Pulling Teeth, Fade to Black, 1986, live. Okay, so let's do this.
What's our bass player's name again? Oh yeah, Cliff. He's up. Everybody say hi to Cliff, will ya? There you go.
there's that sound again.
James Hetfield, lead guitar.
This is another very good song. Nice bass. You can really hear Cliff's bass in this version of the song actually.
Nothing matters, no one else. I have lost the will to live. There's nothing more to give. There is nothing more.
this is where it starts to change.
I got beer and you don't.
Love that song.
Vocals are feeding back up here. Hey? What's a beer? Come on, fight each other.
Right. Love that song. Love that song. I love how half the song is, like the latter half is just instrumental. And I love how the final lyric is, now's the time to say goodbye, or something like that. And then the rest of the song is depicting him going through with what he's been talking about. So, what is next? Let's have a look at this list. Next up is Metallica Hall of Fame induction, Cliff Burton Part 2. Okay, and then I might just jump straight into the one afterwards as well, Ray Burton's acceptance speech. Ray Burton is his dad, apparently, is that if I remember right? Croup, welcome mate. Are you doing requests or songs chosen at random? So Croup, just to let you know, the guys in the Discord have created very kindly a playlist for me to play all night. So you can make suggestions, but I'm not going to be doing them tonight. Any suggestions that come through here, I'll put in a suggestions note to do them in the future. So let's just jump straight in. I'll stick the screen captures back on. Let's just go right through to the next video. Might be some adverts, so forgive me if there are.
Well, you know, one thing I know for sure is that they must have been thinking they were going to break into Casey Kasem's top 40 countdown on their debut record, Kill 'Em All. They were really going straight for the hit single with the song Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth. I got to tell you, a 5-minute long bass solo, it's a ticket to commercial success, you know. Being a bass solo myself, that song is one of the great moments in rock history for the electric bass guitar.
Yeah, I agree actually.
Cliff Burton was an outstanding, superb, deep, and wicked virtuoso of a bass player. In rock music, the majority of bass solos you hear are self-indulgent, overly technical, show-offy, and mostly kind of boring, you know. Every Cliff Burton bass solo I've ever heard is a soulful, psychedelic, head-banging expression that rocks your world, trips your brain out, and gets the house rocking. A beautiful piece of music played by an awesome rocker of a young man, a masterpiece of a human being. And when I hear him play, I hear a dude that knew his serious musician who delved into it with all the love and passion that is obvious in his playing. The worst tragedy that could ever happen to anyone, in my opinion, is that when they die, they never sang their song that was inside of them. They never gave the gift that was inside of them. But the beautiful opposite of that is that if you pass away and you know that you sang your song, you gave your gift, which is what Cliff Burton did, then that is the greatest accomplishment that I could ever hope for anybody. The space that he created in the history of music will last forever. No one else can ever fill it. He was one of a kind, and I can never listen to any Metallica record without thinking of him. It is clear that the gift he gave lives on in that band's music, be he live or be he dead. And I say, God bless Cliff Burton, he rules. When I hear
Goosebumps from that, actually. I'm going there next year, 100%. 100%.
There are a few things more exciting than
I
a
hate
spinning
adverts.
reel. I'm going for red, definitely.
So this is Ray Burton's acceptance speech.
Welcome back to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Before the break, we saw Flea induct Metallica. Right now, let's go back to the main stage where Metallica is giving their acceptance speech.
My name is Ray Burton. I'm Cliff Burton's dad. Am I getting closer? All right, how's this? Can everybody hear me? Great. After that speech, reminds me of an old radio show, Can You Top This? I thought that speech was absolutely fantastic. But I just want to thank the Hall of Fame Selection Committee for selecting these wonderful young men behind me. And they're a great group. And the thing I've always liked about them is you see them play in person, and you just immediately get a big smile on your face. There's something about them that just brings a smile on. It's a degree of happiness that they have a great ability to perform that way. So anyway, what else? I want to... What? I'll cut it short. But there's one person that I want to mention, the person that I think was Metallica and certainly Cliff Burton's greatest fan, and that was Cliff's mother, Jan. And with that, I thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Oh. So again, you can tell how well thought of he was by those two, and the words that Flea used then to describe him. Like I said before, I got goosebumps at times when he said that he was when you've been able to share your song with the world. the biggest tragedy is when you pass away and you're not able to share that song that's inside of you, but Cliff definitely was able to do that. Right, let's have a look at these comments. Playlist, yep. Krupp, you live 100 kilometres from that tombstone. Oh, so you're from Sweden. You live in Malmö. Okay, so I've got family that live in Ljungby, and I only just found out that Derup, the town which is where the tombstone is literally about half an hour away from Ljungby. So the next time I'm up there to see my family, I will definitely be taking a trip up to Derup to see that. Right, let's move on to the next video, which is Metallica Anesthesia Pulling Teeth live at the Roskilde Festival in Denmark, 1986. I hope that this doesn't get pulled. I really hope that we don't get copyrighted again. But you know, we can just keep ploughing through it. Let's just hit the play button. Let's go.
So you see a few friends out there from the time we've been here. Do you all know Cliff over there on bass guitar? Do you know who Cliff is? Why don't you all say hi to Cliff? He's gonna play some fucking bass for you.
Look at the bend. Right.
I saw your music is not played on the radio.
Well, I think it comes down to a question of demand. There's a lot of people that want to hear things that'll never be played on the radio. And so they'll find it one way or another, you know, and they've found it in us, or at least some of them have.
Your image is very much streetwise type of. It's more an English image than an American image. Now in the States, there's this wave of glam rock type band, you know, like Motley Crue, etc. And this as an sort of stopped to becoming success. So in the States as well.
What do I what as well?
You know, the fact that you have an English image, which is not like a commercial type of image in England, in the States, hasn't stopped you to become successful. What?
Has the way that he looked stopped him from being successful, as she just asked? Okay. I'm interested to see what his response is.
I think the image that we have is the image that is us when we are at home, you know, sitting around. This is what we are. I mean, maybe, you know, a lot of the English bands adopted the, you know, non-image as image, so to speak, you know, a while back, some years ago. But as far as it being an English thing, I wouldn't really say that. It's just that we chose not to bother with any of the fancy imagery. You know, it's just us not wanting to bother with any of that, you know. I mean, there's so much of it there that we all become disgusted with that very quickly, almost immediately as soon as it happened.
You maybe think that people, the kids relate more to you because you are like a...
Like them?
Yeah, like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You started the thrash music movement in a way, and now there's quite a lot of bands that either imitating you or whatever. They sound very much like Metallica, but they're not as big as Metallica. So which differences do you think there is between you and this other type of thrash metal bands?
Well, I think there's a lot of different factors involved there. You have to look at things like general songwriting ability, okay? Listen to a Metallica song, especially the later material that we're doing. It's they're very complicated and well-structured arrangements. There's a lot of thought put into the arrangement.
Love it. Instant reaction. Why do you think all these people that are copying you haven't made it as big as you? Well, just look at the quality of the songwriting. Love that.
Whereas a lot of bands simply say 1, 2, 3, go, and just play real fast and heavy, and we're doing more than just doing that. That's one factor. Another factor is the fact that we were doing it long before a lot of the other ones, and I think those that start things have an advantage over those that follow.
They are the OGs.
We've also been lucky. We've had good people working with us as far as management and you know, all the things that, and the record company and all that kind of stuff. You know, we've been fortunate to have good people with us, and all these factors and more combined to produce success.
And since 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, when you played the Bourget, and then you were supposed to come with the rods, you know, and the gig wasn't selling, lots of things have changed. Do you think this is very much related to your management? You know, which is obviously a big deal, right?
Yeah, partially, but I think it's more related to the material that we've released, mostly Master of Puppets. I think that album did a lot for the English audiences, more so than any of our previous albums had. And plus, when we did Donington, that I think did a lot for us. The combination of those two things have changed some of the attitudes in the English public about Metallica for the better.
Well, also in all Europe anyway, because we're quite big in Europe as well.
I think Europe, though, has always been much easier for us, as in better audiences in general than England has been. I mean, because before, you know, we'd only done 2 marquee gigs, a Lyceum gig, and then Donington, and those are small gigs. And the Hell on Earth tour that was supposed to take place was canceled due to lack of ticket sales. But before that, we toured France and Germany and the rest of Europe a couple of times and achieved a fair amount of success, more so than we had in England. So I think the difference is, although I haven't been to Europe yet, it's really drastic difference in England. Whereas Europe has always been fairly good to us. We've not had a problem there, as far as having to cancel, like the Hell on Earth thing. We've never had to cancel in Europe because of that.
Yeah. You were talking about lyrics before. There's one song that you wrote, No Remorse, and there's this thing happening in the States, that guy shooting.
Yeah.
And then singing this song.
Yeah.
And there's also Ozzy Osbourne with this Suicide Solution song.
Yeah.
He's been not charged, but you know what it means. Do you think that is that kids really take lots of notice of what the lyrics of their favorite bands talk about?
Okay.
Yeah, I think they do, but I also believe that if someone has it inside them to commit an act, then that act would be committed anyway. I mean, it's very, very easy for someone to place the blame on something other than the person that committed the act. I think it's people looking for scapegoats. I mean, it's human nature is such that if that is within someone, that will come out one way or another. To kill. If a person is going to kill, they're going to kill. We don't make people kill. Ozzy doesn't make people kill. It's, I don't see their
but
point in
this
that.
thing doesn't make you think that maybe you would like to write about something more happier and things like that?
No.
Or you just write because it's like if you're depressed or whatever, you write about your feelings?
Yeah, we're not a bunch of really happy people, and there's no use trying to write about something that you don't feel. It comes out false. I mean, there's plenty of happy music around. If people want to listen to happy music, they can buy happy records. But if we didn't write this kind of thing, someone else would, and someone would listen to that. And, and it's freedom of speech and freedom of expression, and that's what we believe in.
Music for a Nation is a very small, independent label. And have you ever thought of sort of changing into a major label and the good and bad things that it could bring to you?
Yes, we have. That's a business thing. That is. That's a business discussion.
Love it. I love how when he's asked a question about music, he will go on and talk about it for days. But the minute she asks a question that's around business, he's just like, yeah, that's a business thing. He just wants to talk about the music, doesn't he? And I love that question, the answer that he gave before when she said, have you ever thought about writing happy songs? And he was just like, no. I think she's asking really stupid questions, to be fair. Has your image ever stopped you from getting famous? Do you want to write some happier songs? Like...
Yeah, we can't talk about it. 2 years ago, did you expect to become so popular? Or because I remember I saw Cork and Lars in at the Venom, in the Venom film, and they looked a bit not depressed, but they sort of looked like things were not happening. And now, obviously, things have much changed. I mean, sold out here, and we're going on a tour for many months and stuff. Did you expect that, or did you ever thought, oh, we'll never make it?
We don't expect anything. We just go out and do what we do, and hope people like it, and try and please ourselves artistically. And these are our goals. And we don't sit back and say, oh, I hope we're big next year, or I hope this, I hope that. We just go and do it, and don't put a lot of thought into what might happen or what could happen. We just think about what's happening, you know, and try and make that happen now. You know, what we're dealing with now. That's where we concentrate on. We try not to think too much about the future because it's
question mark.
Yeah, definitely. Question mark.
And has anything changed anyway? You know, what this success is?
Good enough? You want this? Cheers, yeah.
What has this success changed in the band, in personal? You know, the fact that now if you want to buy this and that, you can do it, or if you want to...
Well, it's
it's
given us some freedom, you know. I think the main thing is people in the business, are no longer in doubt of what we can achieve. There's no pressure whatsoever on this group to do something other than our own way. I think people realize that we have struck a very responsive chord with the public, and in turn the business people see that as money, and so they don't try and change that in any way. It's given us a free hand, so to speak.
Yeah.
Artistically.
Yeah.
She's so charismatic, isn't she?
How's the foreign tour been going on?
How is it?
Yeah.
It's great. It's really amazing. The British people, and the Irish and the Scottish for that matter, they have all been excellent to us. And it's been better than we had hoped for. Really good.
What are the plans for, you know, when you finish the tour? Are you going
After we finish the complete European tour, we'll go to Japan. Well, first we'll go to America and do some Canadian and Eastern United States gigs for about 10 days. And then go to Japan and do about a week over there. And then possibly Australia or South America, but that's up in the air. After that, we'll go home for the holidays probably. And then start to put together the next album.
Have you already written the songs for the next album?
No, none of it. We just have some riffs, you know. I mean, that's what we do first, is get riffs together.
What was the next album, guys? Let me know.
After we're done touring, we take the time to make the riffs into songs, which is very time-consuming. It's a long time.
I think it's enough.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Archangel. Greetings, lovers of heavy metal.
Okay. That was really interesting to hear, actually. What I noticed, that was the 21st of September 1986. So, 6 days later. It's really sad, actually, because you hear about all these plans that he's got. Japan, Australia, maybe South America, then to go home for the holidays. Yeah, it's sad. But again, you get this real sense from him that it's all about the music. And they're not out to try and please anyone. They're just trying to be themselves. They're trying to please themselves artistically. They're not there to try and impress or to try and conform to what everyone else is doing. And you know, maybe that's what made them so popular, because everyone could see that that's what they were doing. Right, let's see what's next in this list. Oh, coming up to the end. We've only got maybe five videos left. Metallica, Cliff Burton, September 26th, 1986. So this is the night before Solnahallen, his last solo. Okay, yeah, I've heard this before. So this is the only video where I've actually watched this before. So this is the night before the crash. Let's go on to YouTube. Let's go full screen.
How'd you like to hear a fucking bass solo, huh?
Yeah, come on.
Are you sure about that? All right, y'all, just say hi to Mr. Cliff Burton, huh?
Listen to that. Goosebumps. Incredible. That's sad because that was literally the night before. And all those people there, if only they knew that that was the last time that they was going to hear him. And I've seen it a few times in the comment section. God knows what could have come from him if he would have still been around. God knows what Metallica would have been. God knows what legendary songs would have come. Sad. Right, what's next? Where are we? Kirk Hamner, Scott Ian about Cliff Burton live in San Francisco. Okay.
Years old, there was this nightclub in Berkeley called the International Cafe, and me and my friends used to go there because they didn't ever check our IDs at the door, and they never checked our IDs when we ordered pitchers of beer. So that was one of our favorite places to go. So one time we were there, and there was this band who just went on stage, and they were called Easy Street, and I remember looking up on the stage and I seen this guitar player with frizzy hair and glasses and a flying V. His name was Jim Martin. And another another bass player with long reddish brown hair, bell bottoms and a flannel shirt and a big ass Rickenbacker guitar or bass. And it was Cliff. And I looked at these two guys, and they started playing some Lynyrd Skynyrd song, and I thought, who are these freaks? And then they played an original song, and that's where I saw the full-on Cliff Burton headbang for the first time. And this was before the term headbang was even around. And it's just like the whole full-on. 3 songs into the set, his amp blew up, which was pretty hilarious. We were all laughing. Because we were in a band then, and we were like, competitive with everyone, So you'd think that Cliff would just leave the stage, but he didn't. He sat down in front of his amp while the band continued to play, and he sat there and headbanged in front of his amp. It was amazing. I could not believe it.
As if his headbanging would force the amp to start working again.
Well, the crazy thing is, he was sitting down and headbanging. Like, that's hard to do. So, fast forward a couple years, me and my friend Paul Bailoff, rest in peace, he called me up.
Another good headbanger.
He called me up and said, hey, there's this band called Trauma. We have to go see them. I'm like, sure. So, we go see Trauma, look on stage, and there's that guy, headbanging crazily again. And I thought to myself, oh my God, that guy got so much better in 2 or 3 years. By then he had his wah pedal thing, and it wasn't just a headbang. By that time it was like full body bang. Forward, backward. Okay, fast forward 6 months. Paul Bailoff calls me again, and he said, you'll never hear what happened. And I said, what, Paul? And he said, that banging bass player from Trauma, he's in Metallica now. Wow. Amazing. So, fast forward a few months later.
So hang on, Metallica, they were around before Cliff joined. Is that right? Who was the original bass player then, if that's the case? Sorry, I feel like that's like a really important piece of information that I didn't know up until now, or I haven't clicked before now.
And we're roommates in a hotel, and we're on tour, and we go on to Europe, and this is crazy. So that's my first encounter with people. From the moment I saw that guy, he just made such an impression on me, and I kind of saw his progression, a swift progression over like 2 or 3 years, and I'm just really happy that I had the opportunity to actually get to know him and play music with him, and Cliff, he's the man.
When they first came to New York, we started hanging out. I think I was there the day they arrived. They kind of piled out of a U-Haul truck. Well, actually, Kirk wasn't even there yet. So I had actually met Cliff before I met Kirk.
That was BK.
Kirk shows up a couple of weeks later, AD. Get it? He set me up. What am I supposed to do? Not go with it? Anyway, and we became fast friends. And Kirk and Cliff and I, kind of like, if I was with the Metallica guys, we were kind of like the Three Musketeers, and we had many adventures, and one of which was in early 1984. I think you guys were in London because you were supposed to do a tour of the UK. It was supposed to be Metallica, The Rods, and Exciter.
And Twisted Sister.
And Twisted Sister. A tour of the UK, and this was like early '84, and the tour got canceled for, I don't know even why it got canceled.
We didn't sell enough tickets. That's the truth. I think the record company said the guy in the rods broke his arm or something, but we really didn't sell enough tickets.
So I was in London doing promo for the first Anthrax record, Fistful of Metal, and Music for Nations, which was our label at the time, put us all together in an apartment for a while, which was a really good idea.
Yes.
And just, I'll keep this really short. One day, Cliff's like, hey, I need a new Walkman, if anyone even remembers what that is. So it's a Sunday, and we go to get the tube to Tottenham Court Road to go buy a Walkman, and we get stopped in the tube station by some police who look at these two long-haired dudes. I had hair then, and they literally walk up to us and say, you can make it easier on yourself now if you just admit to the drugs you're carrying, and it'll be much easier for you. And we're like, what are you talking about? They're like, just tell us what you have on you, and it'll go easier at the end of the day. We're like, we're not carrying anything. Meanwhile, I'm thinking Cliff's pockets are filled with weed. Like always. So we don't have anything. So they take us into this station. In the train station, there's a cop, like a cop station. They take all our clothes. I'm now sitting by myself in a cell with no window in my underwear. It's 1984. I'm like 20 years old, and all I could think of is that movie Midnight Express. That's it. I will never see my family again. I'm going to be in jail and have to bite someone's tongue out of their head. But, so I'm sitting there 3 hours, like literally, and then I can hear Cliff talking, and I start banging on the door, and they open the little window, and I see Cliff like this. Like the cops are pulling him away. And I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And we're taking him back to the flat. We're going to search the flat. And I'm like, oh, we're fucked now because there's definitely weed back in the apartment. So I'm now sitting in my cell shitting my pants. Cliff and a whole bunch of English cops go back to the apartment.
I was just sitting there on the couch playing guitar when all of a sudden the door opened up. Cliff walked in and looked at me, and there was a cop behind him. And then they walked into the bedroom and walked out, and they walked out of the apartment again. And I was just kind of going, what just happened?
So I'm now sitting there another 2 hours. They open the door, they throw me my clothes, I get dressed, they bring me to the captain's office, and Cliff's just sitting there with this smirk on his face. And this guy starts apologizing to us. I'm very sorry for wasting your time and all that. And I'm just this kid from New York who now has lost his mind. And I'm like, you fucking motherfucker, like, how dare you just because we have long hair, blah, blah, blah. And Cliff's like punching me in the leg, shut the fuck up. So we finally leave, and I look at him like, what happened? Like, how did they not, like, and he goes, where's the first place you would look if you were searching someone's house for drugs? Where's the first place you look? I'm like, under the mattress. He's like, exactly! They never looked under the mattress. True story. So, the fucking metal gods were fucking looking down on us that day. Because right now, we could be sitting in an English prison still to this day. Anyway, that's one of the many stories that I have in my head about the man. I'm glad we got to share it.
Cool. Let's just quickly go through some of the comments, make sure I've not missed anything. Kyle is here. Hi, Kyle. Sorry, that was a while ago. That was maybe 15 minutes ago. Sorry. It has been a while since I checked. Okay, and Justice for All was the next one. The next album that they released. Okay. Ron McGovney, but they hadn't released any albums yet. Okay. So did they only know about Metallica being a band because they'd been on the circuit and all that kind of stuff and seen them gigging before any albums? Alexander Iverson, hello. Alexander Iverson, that sounds very Scandinavian. Let me know where you're from. Right, let's just jump straight into the next video. Let's see what it is. Ray Burton about Cliff Burton. Okay. This will be nice.
Mr. Ray Burton. I don't know what Mike... What is this shit? Get out of the way. You are such an amazing inspiration to us. The things that have gone on in your life, and you are a warrior, sir. You certainly are. And you inspire us to keep kicking ass, because you do.
As Cliff said, James, is that there's a lot of luck involved in this, and you guys have a lot of talent, but also be truthful about it. There is a lot of luck, and anyway,
yeah, these guys want to hear something about Cliff, maybe. I would say.
No, well,
enough about us. All right.
No, what I want to reflect is that Cliff would come home with stories when these guys went on the road, and they were quite humorous, I thought. So if you don't mind, I'll tell a couple of them.
Go for it. Let's go to yours. We give you Mr. Ray Burton.
No.
Yes, we're leaving you. You gonna be okay up here by yourself?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Behave.
I'll hang on to
Treat
this.
them nicely.
Okay.
Play nicely.
Yeah, all right. Okay. But the story I want to tell you, one time Cliff came home, and I can't remember when it was, but they had produced the album Kill 'Em All. And they didn't produce it, they played it. But anyway, I said, where did you get the name of that, Kill 'Em All? What does it mean? And so Cliff said, well, we got the idea that Kill 'Em All is kill all the managers. And anyway, of course, when they got Cliff Bernstein and Peter Minch as managers, the attitude changed an awful lot. But there was another time Cliff was, they had gone down to LA for a gig, and the four of them were in a car, and of all things, Cliff was driving. And if anybody knew how to see a bad driver, he was. But he was driving this night, and he said they had a map, and so they pulled over the side of the road to look at the map, and lo and behold, the police came up behind them, and the cops pulled them out of the car, and they asked, where are you guys from anyway? They said, well, we're from San Francisco. And so anyway, the officer said to them, what are you, a bunch of queers? And James said, yeah, we're a bunch of queers. So anyway, I think you all are having a good time, and for a very good reason. These guys are wonderful, and I'm sure you agree with me, and they are extremely, extremely entertaining. So have a good time. Well,
okay. So, let's just see something really quickly. Let's see where we're up to now on the list. Oh, this is the penultimate one. We've got 2 videos left. We've got this and then the last one. Right, so this is Burton's father. Sorry, let's just go straight back into it then.
These are some of the collection of albums that Cliff played, and we still have them.
So these are the actual records.
So this one is The Number of the Beast. The Number of the Beast? Okay. And another one, another Iron Maiden. He liked Iron Maiden. So, and then over here we have Rainbow on Stage. And this is kind of a world's tour, I guess.
I keep getting asked to react to Rainbow.
Anyway, it's another example of Cliff's music that he likes. And of course, Misfits, which Cliff, as you all know, got a tattoo on his shoulder from the copy of the Misfits. And then they got some Motorhead, and this one is Another Perfection Day. What? Yeah, Another Perfect Day is the name of it. And then here's another example of the Hayes office getting after the kids. I don't know if you kids remember, but this one has to do with Merciful Fate. And I thought it was Star of David, but it's anyway. This was they put on the cover of the what do you call it? This thing to show that it's it doesn't show the woman's breast, and which is, oh my gosh, can you imagine? Okay, and then here's Merciful Fate. Don't Break the Math. And then, let's see, what else we have. Angry Witch. And Angry, let me turn it around this way so you can see. And here's another Armored Saint. Oh yeah, I can remember that name. Then came the... okay, who are these guys? The Tragedy of Pantang. And it's a wreck age. I don't know, nice looking young people. Here's one, the Tigers of the Pang Tang. Oh, that must be the group. And Don't Stop By. Okay. Another one Cliff like is Gary Moore. Yeah, I can remember Cliff liking Gary Moore. And there's several albums of Gary Moore.
You can just see that his dad has absolutely clung on to everything.
These are the ones that he liked to listen to, and probably played a lot of his music was very, very much along that Gary Moore line. And then Thin Lizzy. Thin Lizzy was probably, he had more albums of Thin Lizzy than any of the others. And this particular one is, I don't know, it has a red flag with a star. It must have been communist, those kids. But anyway, here's another Thin Lizzy. It's called Rockers. Oh no. Anyway, they were rockers, all right. And Cliff loves Thin Lizzy. So here's another one. Thin Lizzy Fighting. I think they're an English outfit. I'm just not certain on that. And this is, this is Thin Lizzy again. My God. He had a flock of Thin Lizzy. And this is Thunder and Lightning. Hey, maybe those guys got the idea of Ride the Lightning from something like this. You know, that throughout history of music,
I'm not sure if I've heard anything
kind of
like
copycats is not new.
I've got a feeling though that they've got some songs that I've heard that I just can't remember that they're by Thin Lizzy.
Johann Sebastian Bach was his, as I said before, I can remember Cliff saying that Bach was God. That's J.C. Bach, not C.S. Bach. That C.S. Bach was J.C.'s son. But anyway, there we go. That's a little Thin Lizzy again. My God!
So he loved classical as well.
Boy. He had quite a collection of Thin Lizzy. So, and another one. This is called Bad Reputation. Well, not in Cliff's eye. It was fantastic. He thought Thin Lizzy and Johnny the Fox. Okay, that's. You think we can waltz to any of these tunes? But, okay, and here's another Thin Lizzy. Hey, you got a repeat here, Cliff. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, Whiskey in the Jar, of course.
Thin Lizzy live in concert.
And the boys are back in town. Yeah, okay, cool.
Oh well, no, here's it. Nope, doesn't say where. Okay, and then this is Thin Lizzy again. Jesus Christ, he had a flock of them, a lot of them too. And Thin Lizzy, Live and Dangerous. Live and Dangerous? Okay. Hey, that's old Thin Lizzy. And then, of course, when I say Bach, Cliff asked me once,
Dad, do you have any Bach music? And unfortunately, I said, Cliff, I may have in just in some of the CDs I have downstairs, but the only one that I have right at hand that I can play for you is Johann Sebastian Bach's Partitas on piano. And so I gave Cliff the album, and I think it's just one album, maybe there's two, but by gosh, he took him to his room and he played those things. Now, whether he used those particular music in that particular album, I don't know, but he sure enjoyed the partitas that Bach composed. And so anyway, that's here's just some of the example of some of the music that Cliff played, and so I feel good that we still have it here for the kids who want to hear what music was like when rock and roll was in its infancy, so to speak. So, of course, rock and roll was really started by gospel music. Did you know that? Okay. That's all, folks.
What you really get there is, like I said during the video, you can tell that he's really clung on to everything that he's left behind, and it feels like he's trying to carry on Cliff's memory through stories and through sharing his life with other people, and it's really nice to see. It's really nice to see. Sad. Okay, let's have a look through the comments. Wild to think the singer of Armoured Saint was supposed to take over lead vocal duties around the time of Master of Puppets. The rest is Thin Lizzy, yet Whiskey in the Jar. It's funny to think that any of these amazing players that we've lost as being kids probably having parents telling them to turn the music down. It is, isn't it? It is. And I wonder where I think his dad said that he played piano. Oh no, did he say that he had an album of him piano? But not. I wonder, what I'm trying to say is I wonder where Cliff got his musical inspiration from. Was it a parent, a friend, or something that introduced him to something? So for example, I was introduced to guitar by my stepdad. Before then I don't even think I knew what a guitar was, and then age 6 or 7, stepdad comes in with a guitar, instantly amazed at what it could do, and he taught me the very first things that I knew. So I wonder where Cliff got his from. Right guys, this is the final video of the playlist. This is To Live Is To Die, I think. To Live Is To Die. So let's jump straight into this last one, and then I'll say our good nights. Quite apt that we're finishing on this, the name of this song. Professor Metal, Ready to Cry, Tommy. Oh God, don't say that. Don't say that. Let's have a look then. Let's go. good. brings us to the end of the playlist. That last song was up there with the likes of Orion, Call of Cthulhu. That was fantastic, and I love that bit where the drums fell silent and just left that riff. However, there is a song that I can't remember who it's by, but I've reacted to it, and they have totally ripped that bit off. I'm going to have to think about who it is, and I'll let you know in the Discord who it is. But that there's a bit in a song, while it was playing, I was singing the melody line in my head to this other song, and it's a complete rip-off of that. I love that song though. That was fantastic. That was, like I said, up there with Orion, Call of Cthulhu on that kind of epic songwriting scale. Loved it. Let's just check some of the comments before I sign off for the night, guys. Let's have a look. Thanks for doing the stream, Tommy. Really learnt a lot today and have much more appreciation for Cliff. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, Michelle, and thanks to everyone else for tuning in and watching this evening. I feel like I've learned more of an insight into the kind of man that he is, and you know, the kind of people that the whole of Metallica are actually. You know, you can tell that he was loved by a lot of people. You can tell that his dad really loves him, and lived his life through his son afterwards. The violin part was the bass. Oh shit, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that again then. I'm going to have to go back and listen to that afterwards. So the little monologue part, that was Cliff as well, was it? Yeah, okay, I'm glad that you've enjoyed the evening. Prof, I really have enjoyed the evening, so thank you very much for helping. I don't know how much input the other guys had, but thank you very much for creating this playlist and getting it up to me and allowing me to listen to it. I'm going to call it a night now, guys. I want to thank you very much for tuning in, watching, and, you know, it's taken 3 rounds to get through it and a few copyright blocks, but we've done it in the end. And in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to do some more lives. I'm going to plan to do the Seattle 89 gig from start to finish. So hopefully we can do that. Yeah, and thank you very much for tuning in, guys. I'm going to say good night, and I will see you all soon. Make sure, if you do like the stream, make sure you subscribe. Click the notifications bell. I've got loads of other Metallica songs that I've done in the past as well. I've got my own little Metallica playlist of all my reactions, and I've also got my favourite Metallica reactions from across YouTube as well. So, yeah, have a look at that. Make sure you subscribe. And if you want to be a part of the Patreon, have a look on there as well. The link is on my channel. Thanks very much, guys, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Have a good night.